Listen to what I'm about to say, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. There's just those games where nothing works. Teammates look completely lost, and no matter how perfectly you play, the match just slips away. A lot of people call it the dark system. The idea that after a win streak, the game quietly stacks the odds against you. Sounds crazy, right? But when it keeps happening with MVP losses, back-to-back feeders, impossible comebacks, it stops feeling like a coincidence and starts feeling very, very real. Welcome back to Mobile Legends News. In the Mobile Legends community, the dark system is one of the most talked about and debated topics. It's often described as a matchmaking pattern where players who are performing well suddenly get matched into harder games, creating forced losing streaks. Officially, matchmaking is based on rank, performance, and balance, but many players feel like there's something more happening behind the scenes. Whether it's real or just perception, one thing is clear. Understanding why these streaks happen is the first step to beating them. The dark system isn't just about losing. It's about how you lose. Close games suddenly turn into stomps, your clean win streak turns into a brutal losing spiral. You go from getting solid teammates to players who look like they just installed the game 5 minutes ago. So the real question isn't just, is the dark system real? It's, how do you beat it when it shows up? First, you need to understand what's actually happening behind the scenes, at least based on how the official matchmaking system works. Matchmaking in Mobile Legends is designed to create quote-unquote balanced games and not easy ones. That means if you're performing well with high KDA, high damage, and consistent wins, the system starts adjusting. It may not be punishing you, but it is trying to challenge you. That's where the illusion, or reality depending on your experience, of the dark system begins. When you go on a win streak, your hidden performance rating, what many players call hidden MMR, increases. This isn't just about rank stars. It's about how well you're playing compared to others at your level. And when that rises, the system has two main ways to balance things. It can give you stronger opponents, or it can give you weaker teammates. Sometimes it does both. That's why games suddenly feel harder even though your rank hasn't changed much. So, how do you fight back? The first strategy is controlling your win streak pacing. I know this might sound counterintuitive, but non-stop grinding during a win streak is one of the fastest ways to trigger tougher matchmaking. When you chain wins back to back, the system rapidly adjusts your matchmaking difficulty. Instead of pushing for 8 to 10 game streaks, many high-level players pace themselves. They play 2 to 4 high-quality games, then take a break. This slows down how aggressively the system recalibrates your matches and keeps your games more stable. Next is role consistency. One of the biggest mistakes players make during a streak is constantly switching roles. You win a few games as a gold laner, then suddenly you're trying jungle, then roam, then EXP. The system tracks your performance, not just wins. If you switch roles and underperform, even slightly, it can destabilize your matchmaking experience. When you're trying to beat the dark system, consistency is your weapon. Stick to your strongest role, your best heroes, and your most reliable playstyle. Now, let's talk about performance versus outcome, because this is where most players misunderstand what's happening. You can lose games and still have strong performance metrics, and the system sees that, and if you keep getting MVP losses, high damage, low deaths, and strong objective contribution, your hidden rating can still rise, even during a losing streak. That's why sometimes it feels like losses don't reset your difficulty, because in a way, they don't. So one key strategy is this: don't play for wins, play for control. Focus on things that the system values, which is farm efficiency, damage contribution, objective pressure, low deaths, and everything else. When you shift your mindset from "I need to win this game" to "I need to play this game correctly," you stabilize your performance metrics. Over time, this reduces the volatility of your matches and helps you escape those chaotic streaks. Another powerful tactic is timing your games. Not all matchmaking pools are equal. Peak hours, when more players are online, tend to produce more balanced matches. Late night or off-peak games often have wider skill gaps, on-the-field roles, and inconsistent team quality. If you're deep in a losing streak, the last thing you want is unpredictable teammates. Playing during high activity windows increases your chances of getting more stable team compositions. Then there's duo or trio queuing. This is honestly one of the most effective counters to dark system experiences. When you queue solo, you're leaving everything to matchmaking, teammates, synergy, and communication. But when you bring even one reliable player with you, you immediately reduce randomness. A good duo can control two roles, secure objectives, and stabilize team fights. A trio? Even stronger. You're no longer just reacting to the system. You're actively shaping the game. Let's also address something players don't like to hear. Tilt amplifies the dark system effect. The system might give you a tough game, but tilt turns a hard game into an unwinnable one. When you're frustrated, your decision-making drops. You overextend, force fights, ignore objectives, or give up too early. Suddenly, what could have been a comeback turns into a guaranteed loss. If you lose 2 games in a row and feel your mindset slipping, that's your signal to stop. Not later, immediately. Another underrated strategy is hero pool control. During losing streaks, players often panic and start experimenting, trying new heroes, copying meta picks they're not comfortable with, or forcing high-risk carries. That's exactly what you shouldn't do. When the system feels like it's against you, you need reliability, not volatility. Stick to comfort picks with strong impact, heroes that can farm safely, scale well, and still contribute even when your team struggles. And now here's where things get interesting. Adjusting your playstyle based on game quality. Not every match should be played the same way. If you notice your team is weaker, missing rotations, losing lane, low map awareness, you need to shift from aggressive play to damage control. That means safer farming, prioritizing wave clear, avoiding risky fights, and playing for late game scaling. You're not trying to dominate. You're trying to survive long enough to create a comeback window. On the flip side, if you sense your team is strong, that's when you push the tempo. Force objectives, invade jungles, snowball early. Be flexible. One of the biggest mistakes players make is playing every game like it's a highlight reel. Just beating the dark system isn't about flashy plays. It's about smart adaptation. Now let's talk about objective priority, because this is where games are actually won and lost. During difficult matchmaking stretches, kills become less reliable as a path to victory. Team fights can be messy, uncoordinated, and unpredictable. But objectives? They're consistent. Towers, turtles, lords? These things win you games. If you focus on securing objectives instead of chasing kills, you give your team a structural advantage that doesn't just rely on perfect coordination. Another subtle but powerful tactic is resetting your matchmaking pattern. If you've had a long losing streak, sometimes the best move is to step away for a few hours, or even a day. This isn't just about mindset too. It resets your queue timing, your player pool, and potentially your matchmaking environment. Many players report that after taking a break, their games feel noticeably more balanced. Coincidence? Maybe. Effective? Definitely. And finally, let's address the biggest mindset shift of all. You don't beat the dark system by fighting it. You beat it by outlasting it. Streaks, both good and bad, are part of how competitive systems work. The key is minimizing the damage during bad runs and maximizing gains during good ones. You won't win every game, you won't control every teammate, but you can control how consistent, adaptable, and disciplined you are across matches. Because at the end of the day, whether the dark system is real or not, the players who climb are the ones who don't rely on luck. They build habits, they manage streaks, they stay consistent even when the game isn't. And that's how you stop feeling like the system is controlling you, and start feeling like you're in control again. At the end of the day, the dark system might feel real because of how matchmaking adapts to performance and win streaks, Whether it's an actual system or just how competitive balance works, the experience is something most players go through. The difference comes down to how you respond by pacing your games, staying consistent, and adapting your playstyle. You won't avoid tough matches entirely, but you can absolutely control how much they affect your climb and long-term progress. Now I want to hear from you. Have you experienced a dark system yourself? What do your losing streaks usually look like? And how do you recover from them? Drop your strategies in the comments and let's compare experiences. Do you think it's real or just a myth? Let's talk about it. Till next time.